Welcome to Morel Dog Podcast. I'm Brian,
I'm Carter.
and today we are going to talk more about morels than dogs. We're just going to go over the morels, are they safe to eat, what they look like, how to cook them, things like that. Just make it a little bit different. Remember, the idea of this podcast is we're talking dogs, we're talking morels, and everything in between. So let's get started.
So, are they safe to eat?
Well, I haven't died yet.
Well, I haven't either. It's probably because
But-
I cooked it right.
Yeah, but has anybody died from eating them?
Yes.
Yes. So just get into that. Morel mushrooms do have toxins in them. They can make you sick if you eat them raw. You have to cook them thoroughly. The cooking procedure breaks down the toxins in them, from what I understand. I don't think normal people they would kill. I think the two people that did die, I think they had some underlying issues. But I do know, and what we're talking about is last year between March and April of 2023, a total of 51 people reported I can't even say it, gastrointestinal illnesses, and then 2 of those patients died. So it was from the restaurant not feeding raw mushrooms. So just cook them. And I don't even know if I like them raw. I guess I've never tried. So
I don't want to try now.
just make you a little sick.
Yeah.
I've heard that there's a myth. I know it's a myth now, but that you couldn't drink alcohol after eating morels. It's crazy the things that people will say and believe, and which for a while I believed it. I didn't know, and their reasoning was the toxins mixing with alcohol I don't know. Anyways,
I wouldn't know in case mom and dad are watching. I didn't know.
huh? So you're saying you don't drink?
I don't.
Okay, good deal. You gotta be 21 to drink anyways.
Correct.
Yep. All right, we'll move on. So, cook your morels.
Yeah.
Don't eat them raw unless you want to get sick.
Cook them with something yummy.
Like,
There's a lot of options. There's like crab stuffed morel mushrooms. I don't know if you're a big fan of that.
really? I mean,
It's probably just like a crab rangoon,
yeah. I'm a big fan of raw mushrooms, so eating them. So, what else you got?
I mean, there's the fried, the sauteed, the usuals. But a lot of people...
So here's the thing. I'm going to interrupt you a little bit. I guess I just led a sheltered life when I growing up, because the only way I think I've ever had morel mushrooms is in a batter fried, and the best batter I feel was the cracker crumbs, right, an egg. But I mean, like either like flour, different ways. I know I've tasted them, but I think that's the only way. I was a very sheltered child.
I guess we both lived under rocks. 'Cause that's about all I've had is the fried and the sauteed.
I've never had sauteed, ever. This year is going to change. Actually, this year, because we're going to those morel mushroom festivals, they do a lot of cooking of morel mushrooms there. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah, that's the main reason for going. Is all the morel different ways they cook, so it'll be interesting. Yeah, I can't believe that I did not know about all this other stuff. It's crazy. But again, there's some people who don't know what they look like. We went to an Alabama show to try to sell our Morel dog, that online course we have, and some people knew about them, and other people were like, "What the hell's a morel?" And in case you don't know, this is what they look like right here. That's it right there. Go back to eating them. What else do you make them? Make with it?
Soup?
Like
Like creamy, dried morel soup.
really?
I mean, people have put it on everything. Burgers, which sounds good.
Sauteed and put them on burgers?
I don't know, it doesn't say. It was just
We got to cook them somehow. You don't want to eat them raw.
Right, you don't want to die. But a lot of people put them with like noodles, all types of noodles, Alfredo, and
Once again, do we saute them or do we boil them or
your preference, I guess.
could you just boil them and eat them that way?
I mean, you cook off the toxins. Yeah.
Just cook them so you don't die. You can eat them.
Jinx, by the way.
Jinx. Oh my God. We are back in elementary school.
Let's go.
Oh my goodness. So we know how to cook them. We have to cook them so we don't get sick. My computer's acting up. Give me a minute. What do they taste like? What's your opinion, I guess? That's the real question. What's your opinion of what they taste like?
It reminds me of like eating meat without the meat flavor. It just gives me that like the joy and that like fattiness. It's just my preference.
I don't know. I get asked this question. I was like, they taste like Morels. I don't know. They're very, in my opinion, very distinct. They have their own flavor, and they're. I can't say there's nothing that tastes like them because I think it was my brother-in-law. Anyways, they make this what they call mock mushrooms, so it tastes a lot like morel mushrooms. Like, it's crazy how close the taste is, and they use just ingredients out of the store. I don't know. I'm not sure what all they put in it, but I do know that it is very, very close to tasting like Morels. Of course, it's not the same. I feel the real Morels have more of a, I don't know. I don't want to say like a woody taste to it, but more of, yeah.
You didn't like my answer, and you said it tastes like wood. Okay.
No, my honest answer is they just taste like Morels. I don't know what else. People have different things, but for me, a Morel tastes like a Morel. Nothing else tastes like it. If they did, I would be finding that and cooking and eating all year long instead of just a couple months a year. One thing I do know is like when you store them, like you'll pick some paper sacks. I see a lot of people bringing them home in like plastic bags and whatnot, which is fine to go pick them. That whole theory of you got to have them in a mesh bag they throw their spores out. You don't have to do that to make sure that you have a crop next year.
Yeah.
That's all myth. They've proven that. People pick them whatever you can, but when you get them home, put them in a paper bag and put them in the refrigerator. You don't have to, just like the store. So I did this. I picked a bunch of morels, put them in a paper bag. I think it was a week later, I took some out, cut them up, and ate them. Just like, I'm not saying it was as fresh, but it was pretty fresh.
So it just preserves them.
Yeah, it keeps them fresh longer. And then I took and I left, 5 or 6. So I was like, wonder what happens if you just leave them in there. So I just left them in there. And then I forgot about them. And then I finally took them out, and they dried up like you, like I buy from the store, buy from online, my online morels. They just dried up, and I used them to train my dogs.
Oh, you didn't eat them?
No, I use them for. I don't eat a lot of morels that I find because I do so much training. I eat some. I do. I eat a couple batches a year, and then the rest go to training or they give away or whatever. So don't get any ideas. I'm not. I'm not giving any to you. But
what a great friend you are.
Told you. We're not here to make friends. Get back to work. You ever try growing them? Because wouldn't that be the easy way? Just grow your own.
What do you think?
mean,
They have kits online that you can buy,
for morels
supposedly.
or for the magic mushrooms.
For morels.
So it is entirely possible to grow your own, but when I was doing my research on this, what they say is many will tell you that you can grow morel mushrooms, but it's a fool's errand. It takes like 3 to 5 years for the morel to grow, and then you're waiting to see. Well, basically, you won't know that it worked until they pop up, right? So you're gonna, however that kit works. I've heard of talking making a slurry and stuff. However, that I haven't done. I don't know how to do it, just to be honest, or even how to start. But what I do know is that they say it takes 3 to 5 years for them to grow, and you have no idea whether it's going to work until they pop up. You can add too much water. You can add not enough. There's so many variables for it not to work. They have not been able to commercially farm these things yet. But what's crazy is that I buy morels, right? I can't remember the scientific name of it right now, but it's different of how the ones I buy grow differently. They look just like these, just like a regular morel that we find in the wild here. But I guess they grow different. So the ones that we get offline off Amazon evidently grow out of wood. And they're really easy to grow, which they have to be because I buy cases of them for training. And one of my concerns when I first started using these is if the dogs would hit on them, on the wild morels, because we're using these. I'm pretty sure all the scientific names are the same. They just grow in different areas and out of different things, but they work, and they work really well, and it's really easy. I've tried rehydrating and cooking these. I don't think they taste as well as the ones we pick around here.
Yeah.
More woody, if you will. But I know they can grow them, but not like what we have here. They don't taste as good. And anyways,
Kind of defeats the purpose of the fun of waiting to go find them. If people just grew them and sell them.
yeah, if you could grow them and sell them, it would take away from. They wouldn't have as much. But the reason I guess it's harder to grow them is in the growing life cycle of a morel mushroom. There's an extra step in there that they do that's hard to duplicate. So I think the last thing, we've talked about growing them, eating them, different recipes. When you get, and even how to store them. How do you clean them? Because I know this, a lot of people have different opinions about how they clean them when they get home. What do you do?
I don't clean them.
You just cook them.
No, I just let
Someone
the
else.
cooker clean them. He does it all.
You're not the cooker.
No, I can't cook.
Okay.
I could cook if I tried, but
Your
I
mom.
stick, yeah,
Your mom still cooks for you.
yeah.
Yeah.
I stick to my SpaghettiOs in a can. And
My God,
Heat it up.
that is disgusting.
no, they're good.
No,
They're so
that
good.
is the. Anyways,
Okay.
back to morale.
So there's some methods.
So, I've heard of people, well, once again, I was a very sheltered child, and I was told the only way to do it was to cut them in half, put them in salt water overnight. So you pick them that day, they have to soak until the next morning. So we couldn't even eat them until the next morning, next day. It was terrible.
It's just like that urge. So
Yeah. Anyways, but that's just the way, and that's just the old school mentalities. And now people are saying, don't do that, it makes them soggy, they're better just fresh, and you don't have to. Well, the reason we did it in salt water was to kill the bugs. But I mean, if you think about, if you ever seen bugs in salt water, they pretty much die pretty quick. So now then it became, You just put salt water in a bowl with your, salt water, the morels, let them soak for an hour, pull them out, rinse them, you can cook them. But for me, what I like and what I think for my personal is the best way, cut them in half, rinse them off thoroughly, pat them dry, let them dry out so they're not real wet, and then however you're going to cook them, cook them. I don't use the salt water. If there is still some bugs in there, I don't worry about it. I mean, it's nothing I worry about.
Well, you just named through all the methods without putting a name on them.
There's a name for them?
I mean, they just kind of call them the long soak method, shake and rinse method, and then the quick rinse and soak.
Interesting.
You just went through them all. and
Ah.
just-
You didn't get to say a word.
Yeah.
All right, so we know that they're safe to eat if we cook them thoroughly. We know what they look like now. I'm more interested in the recipes. I'm gonna look into more of that. We're gonna start our own cooking show on how to cook morel mushrooms.
We really should. That'd be so fun.
You don't even know how to cook.
The point of it is to teach people how to cook them.
Well, the point of a cooking show is you teach people.
Well, you could teach me, and then I'll teach.
Oh, you don't want me to teach you. That's a terrible idea. So, okay, we're not going to do a cooking show. Bad idea. Anyways, I would be very interested in hearing if someone out there can grow or has figured out how to grow morels, even if it's randomly, if you've done it. I would like to hear from you. Send me some videos, definitely.
Especially if you got it off a TikTok shop. They have those.
Really?
I don't know if it's fake because it's like
Yeah.
they speak in Chinese, which is fine. Like,
Well, but you don't know what they're saying.
Yeah.
So why?
Just like, what am I listening to?
Yeah. So my wife has bought things off TikTok shop, like when they first started TikTok shop, and I feel like she got scammed more times than not. Like stuff wouldn't come.
Oh.
She'd order it and it would never show up, or it would be a cheaper item than what she thought, anyways.
Yeah. I bought some gushers off a TikTok shop. They're sour blue res. It's
Why?
a coating over the gushers. It's so good.
Bet it was.
They were fantastic.
Anyways, hey, speaking of TikTok, go check out Morel Dogs on TikTok.
That was smooth. I like that.
So, I think we're done. That's all we got to talk about.
Yeah.
I mean, we can listen to Carter ramble about TikTok, or we can go train some dogs. Train dogs.
Yeah.
All right.
I guess so. Bye, dogs.
Bye, dogs.
Peace, dogs.
That's all you got? Peace, dogs.
I'm a simple man with a few words.
I call bullshit.